Hi Year 11s, this is just a first attempt at a screencast for you. I'm going to go through chapter by chapter and just highlight things that you really need to know about this text for your essay, which is your assessment task 2, your SAC. It's a text response essay, and this is really important that you learn these skills because you'll use them again in term 3 and you'll use them again next year. And in your exam, your final exam. So we need to not just read, but work out what is the author really trying to say, what kind of underneath the text things is he trying to say and show. So we begin by remembering. So this is Whitechapel, his voice, his internal monologue, and he is again remembering. And there's a few major themes in this introduction, this prologue, remembering. The first one is with Whitechapel's identity. And the note that I've made is that he has no name, and then that is symbolic. So it symbolizes that he has renounced his identity. Later we learn that it's out of his grief and the fact that he blames himself, and also the fact that his name Whitechapel is the same name as his master, and so by renouncing his identity, he's also renouncing the slave system, he's renouncing his owner. So there's a symbolism there that's really important that you understand. And also we've got this sense of grief, that the grief is felt in his body. So it shows the grief that they see, the readers can see in his body. So he can't even cry. He's beyond tears. He says, I haven't even been crying. I don't do that anymore. And here's this, starts the description of the body, that the crying is so bad that it rocks his body, rocks, shakes, rattles. And over here on the next page, thump it. And here the cries also described: groan, hoarse, moan, groan, hoarse, bail, bass wail. Okay, so there's a really expressive vocabulary that's used to describe the tears, the crying. And right down the bottom here, there's this very powerful conclusion to this chapter. He's talking about the memory hurts, and that's the expressing that sense of pain. Memory rises to the skin, and I can't be touched. I hurt all over. My bones ache, my teeth loosen in their gums, my nose bleeds. Don't make me remember. I forget as hard as I can. And I particularly wanted to draw your attention to that expression, I forget as hard as I can, because it's not the normal way that we would use the verb to forget. We wouldn't say that we forget hard, or we just forget. But here, because it's used, I forget as hard as I can, it implies that forgetting is really difficult, that it includes a struggle. And the note that I've made here is this introduction, and the voice of Whitechapel throughout has a real tone of pain. It's an agonized tone throughout the whole of his writing. So the sense of confusion can be seen. I think I've written on the earlier pages, you could also say that it's a sorrowful tone, or even a melancholy tone. Right. So there you go. That is the basic introduction to the main ideas in the first chapter. That's remembering. Thanks, everyone.